Hello, this week on 5 Brilliant Things, we have Jess Fostekew. It was fantastic.
My partner's been a bit like, why have you got that bean book on you? Sorry, I snotted at my own weirdness. I'll accidentally carry it around the house with me in case I need it near me.
So it's your comfort recipe book.
Oh no, I nearly took it away with me on tour.
Oh Jesus, what, on a plane?
Yeah.
Some people have... I love the fact that someone holding a dog is like, look at that mad just stroking your recipe
my
book.
bean book.
Yeah.
I think my relationship with exercise is changing all the time. But the thing that made me fall in love with it, for me, was a change in motivation. It was going there to have fun, going to somewhere where I found community, going to somewhere where I felt proud of what my body could do, instead of what had been for 30-something years, the motivation was, see if I can make my body a bit smaller.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And actually I transpired for me to be a pretty toxic motivation.
Not to get too below the belt, but you're eating a lot of beans and lifting weights. I mean, there is...
It's a small room, and you've given me a coffee.
Yeah. Hello, Jess Fostekew.
Oh, hi.
You, I was just looking at you then, and I think you'd be a fantastic Maid Marian.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I think you've got the perfect look. You look like you would thrive in a forest.
Thank you so
much. And I mean that as a compliment.
I think I'll take it as a compliment, but I think it serves, you clearly haven't brushed your hair since 1995.
No. Yeah, well, neither have I. So maybe I'm saying I see a kindred spirit.
No, fair enough. I used to love that show as a kid.
Wasn't it the best?
Yeah.
Yeah, and very funny. Like, really, it was one of those... What was the full name of the show?
Maid Marian and Her Merry Men.
That's right. But it had lots of hidden jokes for adults that we obviously didn't get as kids.
Yeah,
but it was
deserves
really...
a rewatch.
Yeah, I bet it's still good, actually. How are you, anyway?
Yeah, really well. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure. Thanks for coming on the show. What is your first brilliant thing?
Chalk, like you'd get in a gym.
Okay.
Because, and I think everything I've sort of thought about for this, I've just picked things I think that are more complicated than the sum of their parts. And I think it represents lots of different things. So, first of all, I laugh every time I see one in a little ball. Have you ever seen them when they come in a dish and they come in a little sort of a net sack?
No.
Because a brilliant comedian and friend, Jenny Bede, once said to me that she can't keep going to a certain gym because they have the chalk like that. And every time she sees it, her mouth waters because she thinks of burrata. But it does look like a little mozzarella when you look like that.
Yeah.
No,
that's probably an instant way of getting kicked out.
Yeah, but straight out.
If you start licking the chalk, it's like,
grim.
nah, this ain't the gym for you.
I think so. I'm into stuff in the gym, and I think that if the gym has no chalk, I think it's the kind of gym where you are not going to be expected to try very hard.
Right.
But equally, there's something about taking up space with it, because there are people that get in there clapping it about. It's all over them. It's all over the floor. And you're like, all right, I doubt that was necessary.
So can I just pull back here for the sake of non-gym goers?
Yeah.
Well, this is an interesting thing because I've never seen chalk in a gym.
Okay.
And I've been to many a gym. But the way you're describing it feels like weightlifters and Italian pizza makers look very similar.
Yeah, they do.
In that there's lots of kind of...
covered in it. Plumes of it everywhere.
So-
So it's just
'cause I know
basically,
it-
if you've never been to a gym, it's just once your hands get sweaty, it's to help you grip the bar. But also gymnasts use it, so you don't need to be like a weightlifting person. And climbers will have like a little pouch on their belt.
Yes.
Yeah.
So because I've only ever seen it, I've seen it in the Olympics when and it's in what looks like a tray, and they kind of like, slap a bit on. So where do you bring your own chalk to the gym, or is it in a gym?
I go to gyms where it's in there.
Right.
But every now and again I drop in at a more commercial gym, and there I'll bring my own there.
And why? What is the advantage of chalk over gloves?
Because if you use gloves as a weightlifter, you're a complete prick.
Right. Okay. What a great answer.
Yeah,
but
it's like if you do that, just know that people that have done weightlifting for more than 6 months will be looking at you thinking,
is that right?
Look at that rookie prick.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's like a oh, I don't want my hands to get to.
Right.
Oh no, oh God, owie. Like you just sort of have to accept that your hands,
You're gonna get
your
those
grip will get
calluses.
stronger if you,
Yes.
yeah. It doesn't need to be disgusting.
Yeah.
Just moisturise and look after your hands.
So what is it about the chalk that you like so much?
I like the ritual. I think there's something about, you've passed a certain point of like having worked hard where you're going to need to put chalk on your hands before the next rep. Or once you're in your top sets, it's probably part of your pre-lift movements to put a little bit of chalk on your hands.
And were you always a weightlifter?
No.
So when did this come into your life?
Oh gosh. I mean, a while ago now, it was about 2 years before I had my son, so I was probably about 30, and a friend. I'd always go to the gym. I went quite regularly, but it would just be on a sort of vague, untethered hope of becoming eventually thin. And I never had a great time in there. And what I do is like a load of really mundane, I now know probably very like not hard enough cardio, no interval stuff, just sort of moving board for ages. And then as a treat, I'd let myself go around the machines because that felt like easy and fun. And then sort of something clicked and it took a friend saying, well, let me show you the weights bit so that you'd have some purpose in there.
Yes.
But he was a bodybuilder and I've never been into that. Particularly, no disrespect to people who are, but like I prefer like weightlifting functionally to get stronger and fitter and more power and better movement rather than to change what I look like. But so he showed me it, and then I had my son. There was a big old hiatus there. I was pretty aimless in my training. I had a few kind of okay PTs, and then in the lockdown, a gym opened at the end of my road that was a lot more kind of focused, and you were coached well, and you got kind of shown around lots of different types of weightlifting as part of the training there. So I sort of fell in love with it a bit more properly then.
And when you fell in love, what did you fall in love with? The feeling of strength, or what was it?
No,
or is it that feeling of getting to a personal best? Or...
Yeah, it's not even a personal best. I think it's a state of being able to acknowledge tiny achievements all the time. A point, even with all fitness, not just weightlifting, I think I'd never expected so much that my body would be able to do things that it can if you push past a certain point, but not dangerously. I think my relationship with exercise is changing all the time, but the thing that made me fall in love with it, for me, it's going to be different for everyone, but for me it was a change in motivation. It was going there to have fun, going to somewhere where I found community, going to somewhere where I felt proud of what my body could do, instead of what had been for 30-something years, the motivation was, see if I can make my body a bit smaller.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And actually I transpired for me to be a pretty toxic motivation that was sort of, you'd never quite be satisfied with.
Yeah. But they're very intimidating places, gyms. And it's like you were saying with your friend showing you around the equipment. You kind of need almost like a doula in a gym that isn't like a personal trainer, but that kind of just says, look, I know this is terrifying, but this is kind of what you got to do, and watch your back doesn't do that, because otherwise most people go into a gym and you go on the running machine because I kind of know how to do that, and then there seems to be this sheen of confidence where everyone knows what they're doing, and yet everyone has been to the gym for the first time and not known how anything works. Yeah. And they're so intimidating.
Yeah. Do you know, I think a good PT should have that doula energy.
Yeah.
For people who are really new
but
to it.
even PTs can be incredibly unapproachable because they're so beautiful. But they're kind of Greek gods, and everyone kind of shuffles in with this kind
We
of...
need more trolls to become PTs.
Yes.
PTs are all army rejects.
You think so?
Yeah. Didn't have the discipline to get in the army, so spend their life bullying other people to get their kicks.
Okay,
Great.
interesting. Have you ever had a PT?
Yeah, they quit really quickly.
Do they?
Yeah. I'm paying them so much, but they're just like, fuck, no, not this one.
I love people going to the gym. This sounds so condescending, but when you see somebody who hasn't been there, you can tell they haven't been there before, and they've taken those first couple of steps. I fucking love it.
Yeah.
I get proper... Like when I see somebody do like a pull-up, fucking love that.
I think it's and I think there's a lot. It's about identity as well. I think you can. I've been like, so at the moment, I think you have at school you can really quickly form the identity of someone who hates exercise because PE is so joyless for so many people.
Yeah.
And I think you then go on to be, I spent a long time being like, well, it's really the weightlifting I love. But actually, I absolutely love all the out-of-breath stuff now. The first PT I ever had nearly cried because I was like, I want to get strong. And I gave them this huge list. I was like, never weigh me, all this. And then I was like, and I don't like being out of breath. And they were like, what is left? But yeah, I think for a lot of people, they'll be like, well, I'm just someone who hates exercise. And I don't know, maybe this is condescending. I think there will be a type of movement with the right type of motivation that will be an untapped fountain of joy for them.
Absolutely.
It just will be, it will look different. It might not be something in a gym. It definitely won't be something in a group necessarily. Like, some people love solo stuff.
Flamenco.
Whatever. Flamenco.
Yeah, it could be.
It could be flamenco.
Yeah, but any kind of ballroom dancing, ice skating, high jump. It'd be annoying if high jump was your thing.
Oh, God.
It's very
really hard to
rare
get
that
access
I
to
just
that.
love jumping high.
I wonder if that's why parkour is so popular, just because people haven't got access to safe high jump equipment.
Is there a specific chalk that you like? Do you bring your own chalk, or do you sometimes? That's an interesting question. Can you tell when it's good chalk or bad chalk?
No.
Can you tell when it's been cut with other chalk?
When you've been cut with other chalk,
I'm curious as to whether you go, oh, it's just this. Oh, this is crap.
My favourite chalk I've ever used was gifted to me by a really cool company, and it's a woman that makes like scented chalk, and they come in like bottles shaped like hearts and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
But basically, one of them smells of grapes, one of them smells of strawberries. But they all still, which is fun, stink of alcohol, which is effectively what keeps liquid chalk liquid.
And does it not feel like, when you put your hands in, is it not that kind of, like...
No, because you squirt it on and then you have to wait for it to dry.
Right.
Squirt?
Yeah, it's liquid chalk. Squirt? It's the first time someone says squirt
chalk?
on this podcast.
Yeah, it is, and particularly in a cardigan. You're not expecting that. That sounded like a demand. Like a posh guy at an orgy. Squirt! I was promised. Squirt! What is the next brilliant thing?
It's a bean book.
What is a bean book?
It's a book that was initially given to me, and there's now two of them, and it's a very specific brand called the Bold Bean Company who've got two books out, and it's just recipes with beans. I'm not really. I'm not regretting saying
not to get too below the belt, but you're eating a lot of beans and lifting weights. I mean, there is.
It's a small room, and you've given me a coffee.
Yeah.
That'll make you squirt.
Yeah. Oh God! It's not the squirt we dreamed of. It is not the squirt I thought he was demanding.
No, it isn't. Back in your box. Back in your box. So this bean book then.
Why I brought it up is I found myself, I would say, abnormally attached to it. Like, I really love recipe books. Mm-hmm. So there's like a kind of nice nostalgic. I've very much become my mum in lots of ways, but one of them is we really like looking at recipes. I think it's like one of my happy things to do.
Yes, definitely.
Like it is one of my favourite kinds of books.
Well, here's what I like to do. I like to eat cereal whilst looking at recipe books.
Oh, very nice.
Just so that you have something very meagre that you're eating. Yeah. But that your eyes.
But you've got the Dishoom book out where there's like 900 ingredients and everything takes 4 days to make.
I've got that Dishoom book. Yeah. I love it. I absolutely. And I was thinking about this because I reckon we've got about 50 recipe books. And I wonder if they are a dying art. I wonder if people now just go to... Because the interesting is, if I cook something, I'll go to Google. I'll never get the book out.
No, I know. And I probably live via 2 apps now for the recipes.
Fun,
so,
isn't it?
Yeah, perhaps it is. But that book is... I think we're not there yet. And I think perhaps there'll be a resurgence. There's something about those kind of like... there was a cooking book when I was growing up that was kind of called the Everything Cooking Book or something. And there was a chocolate cake that we made in it. So often that like the pages have all smeared with the ingredients. Gross, but lush.
No, exactly.
And I think basically why I picked the bean book is just sort of bully myself because my partner's been a bit like, are you like, why have you got that bean book on you? Sorry, I snotted at my own weirdness. Basically, sometimes I'll be like, I might look at that later when I'm upstairs. So I'll accidentally carry it around the house with me in case I need it near me.
So it's your comfort recipe
Oh
book.
no, I nearly took it away with me on tour.
Oh Jesus! What, on a plane?
Yeah.
Some people have. I love the fact that someone holding a dog is like, look at that mad bitch, just stroking your
my
recipe book.
bean book.
Yeah.
It's it's my therapy bean book.
Wow. So
every recipe in it is a banger.
Okay.
There isn't, and so I want to get through every single recipe in both books.
what is your most used, and what is the one you've not gone to yet?
Oh God, I'm not very good at remembering. There's like a kind of like, you know, like a buttered chicken curry like that, but with chickpeas in it that is out of this world.
yeah.
And it sounds like it's peanut buttery. It sounds too glicky, but there's so much lime and stuff in it as well that it's like the perfect satay. Yeah, amazing.
So it's sort of somewhere between like a satay and like a chana masala.
Yeah.
Now here's a question: do you? Because I like a chana masala, which is like a chickpea Indian curry, but I don't like. I have to mush it with the back of my fork so that it's in like a goo. I can't eat the chickpeas.
You don't want a whole chickpea in your life.
I struggle. I like chickpeas mushed. I don't like them.
That's
whole.
hummus.
I know, but it's this. I can't. And I like it then all mixed in with the flavour.
I hear
They're
you.
chalky.
Yeah.
What we've learned so far is that Jess fucking loves chalk.
That's true. That is true. Yeah.
I'm going to argue, though, that I think like a really high, like expensive, good quality, big, jarred chickpea is going to be way less offensive than a little nutty tinned one.
Shout
because
out
it
to the
won't.
Bold Bean Company.
Shout out to the Bold Bean Company, because
Who are
the tinned ones they've not been soaked for anywhere near as long in advance.
Right.
And something to do with the way that they're housed in a tin instead of a jar also means they're going to make you way fartier than any jarred bean ever.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Would a chickpea be your top bean, or would it be a pinto bean?
I can't believe I'm having a top bean
That's all right.
conversation. Oh, this is my dream come true.
Yeah. But what is your?
It changes all the time. At the moment, let's say.
What's your comfort meal with beans?
Oh.
Is it? Can you look beyond jacket potato and baked beans?
Oh yeah.
You can look beyond that.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Take me to that nirvana. There'll be a bean enthusiast listening, losing their mind.
There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of recipes that are really good in there that are so quick and easy, where it's basically beans in a tomato sauce, but there'll be some harissa and tons of herbs.
Yes.
Just freshening and lightening the whole thing.
Lovely.
There's lots of I suppose Moroccan-ish twist stuff in there with where you'd end up with yogurt on top and pomegranate molasses, a few fresh pomegranate and that kind of vibe. Yeah, that's all quite quick and easy to turn around.
Do you
with some
end
nice
up with
bread.
a store cupboard full of things you use once every 6 months?
No, that's how my partner cooks, and I'm like a 90-year-old food waste avoider.
Oh wow!
I'm I behave as if I at some point have lived through a war that I haven't lived through. So no, my partner cooks like that, and it actually boils my piss.
Wow, gosh, which is not a recipe
No,
anyone
it's not
wants.
nice at all.
So you've got real Ainsley Harriet energy.
I just want to use stuff up. I'd much rather use stuff up.
Best way to be. My brother started doing that miraculously. My brother was never interested in cooking ever. And suddenly now, he made an onion tart the other day. He made creamed leeks. Ooh. He's just like these random things that he's bought cheap at Tesco, and then has looked in a cookery book online and found something from nowhere. Never cooked, and is now cooked a butter chicken. I know, it's extraordinary. Like my entire family cannot understand what's happened. He made rice pudding the other day from scratch.
Is it just a really benevolent midlife crisis?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I think that's what's happening with me in the Bean Book. I think it's the perimenopausal baby I'm not having.
Yeah, that's
because I'm getting all my oxytocin out on the Bean Book.
And are you vegetarian?
No, but my partner is, so I am at home.
Gotcha, makes sense. Do you, when you go out, bite into a steak? Because my uncle Tim, my auntie Sandra, was a vegetarian, and whenever we go out for a family meal, the fucking look of it. My uncle Tim, he used to bite into that. They wouldn't even bring the steak. Do you know what I mean? So he'd probably have 3 steaks a year, and you've never seen anyone
happier
enjoy them. Oh,
man.
it was so great.
Every
yeah.
mouthful, he's just
Yeah.
weeping,
Yeah, it
just
was so
sobbing
lovely.
into his
But
delicious
do you
steak.
do that when you're out?
When we first got together, there was probably an element of that,
Right.
because it is just the grass is greener, and if I'm not very good with any restriction or rules around eating anyway. I absolutely love rules in the world generally, but if I'm told you're not allowed that, then a bit of me will be like, no, I am gonna have it, or I'm gonna obsess about it. But no, these days I've calmed down a bit.
Are beans your favourite?
No.
Okay.
What thing in the world?
No, for food thing.
No.
So okay, so why this bean book, and why is it something that you'll take everywhere? That's what I'm trying to get to.
I think I've got. Do you know what you really like? I feel like you're doing therapy on me, and I'm grateful.
Yeah.
I think probably what it is I've got a lot of time for things where someone has clearly put an extraordinary amount of effort in.
Yes.
It ticks a lot of boxes. I think I sometimes get pretty worried about the old climate.
Yeah.
And we could all do with eating more fibre, and beans are so amazing, whereas most vegetables that we grow in the UK deplete the soil through being grown here.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry if you already know this, but if you grow a bean in the UK, which grow really well in the UK, including the ones that they use in this company, it replenishes the soil. So it's giving back as much as it's taking out. It's giving back more than it's taking out. So you can say you've got a field somewhere in Norfolk that's been used to grow carrots for hundreds of thousands of people, but that will be knackering the soil out. If you grow beans in it as a break crop, they call it, it will put so much nitrate, I think this is right, back into the soil, you can then use it again for potatoes or carrots or whatever. Wow. So they're like this environmental superfood. I do think they're pretty delish, but they're not my favourite. I'm not a freak.
No, but what I love about it is that you clearly are the exact opposite to Russell Brand. In that you've actually read the book you carry around.
Yeah. Oh God, you should have asked me to find my favourite recipe and then let me just flick through the bean book. Just let me flick through the bean book for half an hour and sat there looking more and more like.
Yeah, in a video we like to call guilty. It's extraordinary when you kind of. Yeah. What is your next brilliant thing?
My next brilliant thing is Lewisham Icons under-9 gold team.
Okay. Right, lovely.
It's my team. It's my football team.
Are you the coach?
No, but my son plays for them.
Okay.
And I've just sort of had a bit of an identity crisis.
Okay.
He's coming to the end of his second season playing for them, and I thought until that happened that I already had a team, like one of the main teams, but it turns out that's just like a once upon a time partners team.
Yeah.
And then as a child, I had a different team. But actually, that was my dad's team. And I've realised now this is my team. And I know this is my actual team because of my involuntary behaviour on the sidelines.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, take me through some of those behaviours.
Screaming, involuntary screaming. It's like I'm possessed. All I can do, I'm not a monster.
Presumably there must be screaming if someone's done a tackle or a pass. Like if it's like, do you know what I mean?
Just before the whistle.
Yeah.
Someone just does
Oh God.
Throw on. But that's, what are we talking? We're like, after a goal, it must be insane.
Oh. When we first started, they were so little. I was the only one. There was one other mum who would basically chest bump me if we got us goal, but no one else was. She was fun. She was French, that mum, and she could never remember the boys' names on the team. So she would be like, "Well done, good pass, darling."
Yeah.
She'd just shout "darling" instead of their names, and I like that. No, I very quickly realised, because effectively they're so little. My son's still so little that I had a bit of a light bulb moment where I realised a lot of the stuff I'm shouting. I do limit myself to generic positivity because it's obviously just not on.
Yeah.
But a lot of the stuff I'm shouting, it's all like eyes on the ball, keep passing. All of it is code for please be better at football, which you must not scream at a child.
Yeah, well, yes.
But you do seem to be allowed to scream at men and women playing football, but you mustn't really scream at the under-9s.
No, and yet it's so, maybe the world has changed dramatically, because as somebody that went through, I played football my entire life, and lots of screaming, some insane screaming. That some of the behaviours I've witnessed in kids football.
Oh,
Just
I
off
honestly,
off the scale.
it has got worse. So
Has it really? Bloody hell.
It's well, in the last few years of my experience watching
Yeah.
these like 7 and 8 year olds through up to like 9 and 10 year olds now, and I think it's getting worse the sort of better my son's team does, because the higher up these kind of kiddie leagues you get, the more parents there are who presumably think there's a chance their child might actually have this for a job.
Yeah.
And they're mad.
Yeah.
They're mad, and they're violent.
Oh yeah.
There's like coaches being headbutted,
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
worst thing is, I mean, I had a genuine sort of real time nightmare about being in a situation where there's no choice but for me to ref. I don't think I could do it. We had a dad ref for the first time last weekend, and you could see the trauma it was doing.
It's
You could see the existence. And equally, while it was happening, while he was reffing, even though I know how frightening it must be and how horrible it is, the other team's coach came in like, rah, because he tried to give a free kick to our team. Oh, God. Even while it's happening, I was simultaneously thinking, yeah, you've let 2 handballs go.
Yeah. It's funny, isn't
I was
it?
also livid with him, but I wasn't letting him
Jess,
know.
are you part of the problem?
No,
but
I don't think I am. I try very hard to just like sort of walk off and not. But every now and again, I let myself. If someone's really losing it, I let myself shout, "Embarrassing!"
Yeah. There was when I was a kid, there was, I know exactly how old I am because there's home video footage of it. Our manager, Bob, shouted at me, "Get hold of the ball." And I turned to him, both my hands were on my hips. He goes, "Get hold of the ball." And he said, "A £5 note won't fall out of a tree straight into your hands. You got to get hold of it." And I look at him with this look as a 10-year-old of like, "You're fucking mad."
Yeah.
I obviously don't say that, but it's like, what a £5 note? What the, but it's this.
Yeah.
He clearly is so desperate for me to get the ball.
Yeah.
It's the desperation as well.
Or to come to it, basically. Yeah, he's trying to use floral language to get you to.
But and yet I love it. There's something so, I know exactly what you mean about seeing kids play football. It's the best because it just reminds you of. The frustrating thing is the parents are too excited sometimes, and they're living it too much. But what is actually happening is that these kids are making memories. And they will remember when they're 30. Oh, do you remember when Sarah scored that goal, or Tom passed that ball to Michael and he scored that, and we did, we won the cup, and that's the magical thing about football is that it creates, or any kind of sport, but alongside school, it gives you an opportunity every week to be a Premier League footballer in your mind and have genuine moments of togetherness and friendship. And this the moments of utter brief perfection when you and your mates have done something great is the best.
And actually, like, bad parental behaviour aside, you're modelling loads of stuff that's so useful. It's like, ironically, despite some parents not being able to do it, you are looking at like basically sort of really important emotional regulation as well.
Massively.
Because there will be massive highs and massive lows. And especially at kids that age, the last few years, you've watched them go from a full team of kids who will be at some point during the match sobbing, or like once you start losing, they're gone, like, or they miss an attempt on goal, they're gone emotionally, rage, sadness, whatever, to being like now 2 years on, most of them can keep it together or can reset relatively quickly. And I think just those are great things to learn to cope with, to have all that. So you're going to have a lot of feelings in this hour.
Yeah, absolutely.
At that age.
Well, but nothing to like, because nothing tells you no better than sport as a kid, that you're going to go, I want to score the goal. Nope.
Yeah.
But I want to win. You don't.
Yeah.
Like you just have to learn those things. It's very hard to kind of learn what it feels like to miss. Yeah. But to know what it feels like to miss and score, it helps you.
And to use the people around them. They've only just started really passing and trusting each other. Like they're all like, you need all the ego and no ego to be good at it. And it's
what position does your son play?
Either they still shuffle around a bit.
Nice.
But he's left-footed and he loves to play on the right wing.
Oh yeah.
He gets put striker quite a lot.
Yeah. So he's what they call in the game an inverted winger.
Yeah.
So he's coming in.
He loves it. He does sometimes get put on the left wing. He feels quite uncomfortable there, but he'll do it. Yeah.
Is he in danger of becoming too Flash?
He's a really interesting character. I don't think he'll become too Flash.
That's interesting. Does he have a goal celebration?
It's different. It's different every time. Quite sweetly, recently has decided to. He's quite keen to copy Eze's little cross.
Oh, nice.
But he said I think this is a child of his age. Was like, it's probably inappropriate because we're agnostic, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
you don't want to appropriate that Christian cross on your.
I love the fact that when the footballers cover their mouth and they're talking. The idea that one of their little 10-year-olds goes, shouldn't do that for agnostics.
Yeah, actually, that's cultural appropriation. Yeah. My favourite thing that they do, that they stopped doing that when they first started. Whenever they took a corner, the kid taking the corner would give it all the like.
Yeah, and
they're just making shit up.
Yeah,
they've got none of it means anything. They'll be like,
yeah,
like,
it's so lovely,
like waving in a plane.
But it'll never stop that. It's like when I was a kid, like Cantona used to put his collar up, so all of us. Collar up, it's just this,
and then all of us kick the man in the face.
Yeah, exactly. Utter imitation. Well, Gaza sticking his tongue out. I used to do that.
Yeah. And then 19 pints after the match.
19 pints.
Yeah. Just like Gaza.
Do you know what I miss? Because we live in an era of terrible football commentary that they used to. Because now it's like, oh, he's whacked that, go smack. And commentators have become like Partridge now. but when I was a kid, you would have these kind of eloquent, when Paul Gascoigne scored against Arsenal in the FA Cup semi-final, and the commentator went, "That is schoolboy's own stuff." So we would do that as well. That would be a thing that we'd score a goal and go, "Oh, you have to say that's magnificent."
Did you hear the commentary from Rochdale, York?
No, but I saw it.
That is worth looking up.
Yeah, really.
The York local BBC radio live commentary.
He's going bananas, is it?
Yeah. I mean, it's incredible.
Fits it through to Stones on the right side. Stones pulls it back. Goalkeeper saves with his foot. Still not kept out. To the back post it goes. Callum Howe heads towards goal. Scrambled in. Is it over the line? It's there. We've done it. We've done it. We have done it. York City have done it. Lewis Denton to invade the pitch. Can you believe that? We have done it. We're going back to the Football League. Oh my word. The Seeds. Get in there! The promised land is here for York City!
I love it so much! Oh my God!
But that's what I mean.
To breathe.
But
you can hear him going, like gulping air. It's like someone who's just jumped into an ice bath. It's like he's commentating from the bottom of Lake Windermere. I loved it.
That's the best. But that is the same side of the coin of the rage. The joy. That's the funny thing, man.
Yeah.
Like we have to keep that in the show. That is what football is.
Yeah. And that's me on the sidelines of Lewisham Icons.
But it's that funny thing of like the second division is the promised land.
Yeah.
But he is not lying.
Yeah.
They are in the promised land.
It's great.
It's extraordinary, isn't it? Yeah. What is your next brilliant thing, Jess?
Mini eggs.
Okay, lovely. Right.
I think it's I think they're probably the most extraordinary confectionery ever invented. I don't think there are any other edible items you could also have as a perfume. It's the best smelling chocolate in the universe.
There is a mini egg perfume. It exists.
Shut up.
No, for real. We've talked about it once before on the podcast. There exists a scent which smells of mini eggs, so you can spray yourself with that vanilla chocolatey smell.
God. What were we talking about that? Did we have a guest on who was a paedophile? Well, like, when would there ever be a need?
I don't know how many guests you've had, but statistically you probably have.
Yeah. I've got brilliant things. Kids. Mini eggs.
Mini eggs perfume. God, I wish I hadn't said it now.
What? I didn't know. So what the hell?
I'm not looking to share mine with kids.
No. But so I don't think I've had a mini egg, or I certainly haven't smelt one. Like,
should have brought some.
You should have done, yeah. But they're little eggs. I've seen
little
them.
eggs, yeah. There's a really great texture going on.
Okay.
Like, you can't. I once back when they really genuinely only released them around Easter.
Right.
I once put a bag, sort of absentmindedly bought a bag towards the end of the season, while they were in season, stuck it in my boot of my car, forgot about it, saw it months later. That was no good. The shells had gone turgid.
Yeah. Yep.
It needs to be really crunchy. They need to be freshly.
Yeah, I think I have. Yeah, because they kind of
cooked.
they crack quite nicely and quite
Yeah.
pleasantly, and the chocolate inside is relatively hard.
Yeah,
And
but
if you
so
wanted,
creamy.
you could kind of like peel the egg off with your teeth, so you were just like nicking away at it.
You'd have to be
mad.
like a squirrel
Yeah,
level of
yeah.
small tooth precision
Do
to
you
get
have
the shell off a mini egg.
remarkable oral dexterity?
No.
Your anecdote suggests otherwise.
You're very. I tell you what, mate. You're really pervy today. I don't know what's happened to you.
You're welcome.
It's because you've been. He's been playing cricket again, and he's hanging around with men in locker rooms, and that locker room banter has really come out of you.
Thank you.
Okay, so but I've got no problem with you enjoying the mini eggs.
Thank you.
Is it so you're saying it's the number one confectionery
Yeah,
item?
I can't believe you haven't had one. I'm really sad for
Yeah,
you.
I
You
feel
haven't-
like-
well, actually, do you know what? I'm not sad for you. What a thing to know you still got ahead of you.
That is true. That is true. But it's. I don't have a particularly sweet tooth.
Me neither.
So, okay, that's interesting.
I think they're extraordinary.
Right.
But I
Very
don't want one
similar in
every
size
day.
and shape to a bean.
Yeah. Similar vibe there. Yeah.
And also have a chalky
Oh, I was going to
quality.
say when the eggs.
Oh no!
When the eggs crack.
Oh
yeah.
no! Why haven't I put a liquid in this list? You guys, I've accidentally done an incredibly
And when-
dry list.
And when you think about it, when she watches her son, she's going to be on the touchline. And what is she got her foot on? The chalk of the.
God.
There you go. This is it, mate. There is definitely a through line here.
Yeah.
So I would say what would be my number one.
Confection.
I like it. Yeah. What do I like? I would say a boost.
Oh
I
God,
like a boost.
classic.
Yeah.
Can I talk to you about whether you've ever had a Star Bar?
Yeah, they're great. Yeah, it's
What
funny.
happened PR-wise to the Boost compared to the Star Bar?
Yeah.
Because they're basically brothers. They're not twins, but they're brothers.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? But why do certain chocolate bars take off
Yeah.
and others don't? It's funny, isn't it? And it's what's really interesting is if you have a joke, as I briefly did about a Twix. So whenever if I was like gigging in Europe or America or Australia, whatever,
Yeah.
I would have to like go into like a 7-Eleven and literally like a deranged lunatic look at all the sweets.
Checking they
to
did
see if they have,
Twixes.
no,
Yeah.
they haven't got a Twix, right? And then ask behind this guy behind the counter, go, "What's the sort of closest you got to like a Twix? Like, what do you want it? No. I just want to know.
absolutely not.
I want to know what the closest is. But it's really fascinating the ones that make it everywhere,
Yeah.
and the ones that don't.
Yeah.
That you're like, oh my god, so you don't have this? You know, like a crunchy bar. There's no crunchies in Denmark.
Really?
Which blows my mind because again,
interested in
I would say
honeycomb.
that's my top three. If I had to choose, I would say Boost, Crunchy, Toffee Crisp. I would say my top three. So you're going.
You had me with you on
you're-
that journey till he said Toffee Crisp.
Oh really? What are those
Yeah.
really amazing chocolate? Is it Lindt? LINDT.
The balls.
Yeah, bloody hell. So
Right, aren't they?
at our at the agency that I'm with, Avalon, they have those in little kind of silver trays, right? In all the meeting
Is
rooms.
your agent Willy Wonka?
but they would have them in. And when I was doing my TV shows, every so often I would just go into one of the meeting rooms and just snaffle one of them. And I remember once being caught in there just on my own, eating one of these. And like the head of the agency were like, "You all right, Russ?" Yeah. Just... And you know when you have to fabricate a reason as to why you're...
Just waiting for a call.
but you're in a meeting room
Like you'd be
on
waiting
your
for a
own.
call with a mouthful of chocolate.
I literally had my fucking hand in the bowl with other chocolates in my mouth. And I was going, "What were you?" It was dreadful. So I had this awful sense memory because they are really nice chocolates. But as soon as I bite them, I'm like, "Oh yeah, God."
An ex-partner of mine at Christmas, their family would put those, it was when they'd just come out, but those like Lindor ball things in a bowl. Straightforward, you'd expect that maybe in a lounge at Christmas, wouldn't you? Potentially in a kitchen if people are going to be chatting there too. His mum had put them in every room, including the toilets.
Oh my God.
Yeah, as if you might be doing a Christmas number 2 and think, yeah, why not? Let's keep it moving through. Let's just keep it moving through.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen anyone put snacks in a shitter.
Well, nor had I till then.
Yeah, that is wild, isn't it?
Stick to the potpourri,
Yeah.
I reckon. Then that has to be the sanctuary of one place at Christmas where you'll be having a little break from putting food in.
But I also can't imagine I don't think I've ever had a poo and thought I could do with a snack. Like I think anyone's ever felt that kind of.
I feel weird
Fuck,
enough.
I'm hungry.
I feel weird enough when I need a wee and I'm thirsty at the same time.
Yeah.
That is another level, isn't it? Of like,
Can you
I
like-
can't have both these feelings at once.
I genuinely think if you were defecating and you started eating, I think your ass would go, enough. It would talk. Like I think, like, do you know what I mean? Imagine if you had the temerity to like grab a sandwich, like, I think your arsehole would be like, the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, and that's how we learnt that anuses could chat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Are you getting this? I just,
Not now.
but it's just wild that you would. But it also speaks to like a mum trying to make the perfect Christmas for everybody.
Yeah.
Because
big
I
time.
bet she'd never done that before.
No.
And I bet, she probably had that moment where she probably has flashbacks to like, what was I thinking? That is crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is absolutely bonkers. Has anyone ever done that ever? I think she's done something truly unique as a human being, and that is fascinating. But you would never do it. You might have books. I don't even read, like, all these people that, the sort
My
of like...
dad used to have a pile of Viz magazines.
Did he?
on
Yeah.
the toilet.
Yeah. Well,
Says
see,
a
I
lot,
quite-
doesn't it? About
It does.
Keith.
It was, but Viz magazine, it was so... I like...
Or Private Eye.
Yeah, but they're, again, very similar, aren't they? I loved Viz when I was a kid. Good God. Did you read it when you were young?
Yeah, because I wasn't really allowed.
Yeah,
it's full
and
of
it was
like people with
just-
enormous cartoon bollocks and stuff.
Yeah,
and I was
exactly.
like,
Just exactly.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Okay. Is your son a fan of the mini eggs? Is there? Are there?
But I think they're wasted on him. I think they're to be savoured,
Okay.
and he's a chocolate smasher inner.
Right. What is the? How often are you consuming the mini eggs, and what is your perfect way of consuming them? Is there a ritualistic thing? Do you have them in the bath? Do you have them after football? When do you have them?
I don't have them super often. I have to be in the mood. I'm
Right.
also like not particularly sweet toothed,
Yeah.
but if I am in the mood, I don't want to be starving. I don't want to. They can't be rushed. I think the optimal situation to have them in is like they're one of those days where it's like quite bright outside, but it's not hot. I think some people call it spring. And I want like a ramekins worth, maybe sort of 10-ish. And I want to eat them in pairs with a cup of tea, just builder's tea with just a little bit of milk. And they go in like crunch, 2 at a time, as I said. Just like let the initial, nothing's going to hit like the first pair. Really slow enjoyment of that. And once they start breaking down anyway, not crunching, sucking, then you can start introducing sips of tea.
Yep.
Oh, wow. I've given myself.
I like that.
I want one now.
We should move on because now
Just before we move on, can I
feel
just
a deep
circle back
desire.
and answer an earlier question?
Yeah.
You asked if the agency was like Willy Wonka, and they are in a sense that they lure young people in with the promise of great riches, and 90% of them end up fucked up at the end of it.
Yeah, there's been a few Augustus Gloops down there. But what it also implies that my grandparents all slept together in a bed. Because Charlie did all right. What is your next brilliant thing?
My next brilliant thing is hugs.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they, for really good reason, I'd say 3 quite prominent good reasons, had gone out of fashion.
Right.
but I think they're spectacular.
Why did
The
they go out
three-
of fashion?
I think COVID.
Yep. Me too.
Me too.
I was
And-
joking. Okay.
Oh yeah, no, I think it is because I think I don't know.
you?
Okay, so
God.
I think I've noticed that my generation of parent are saying to our kids, if you don't hug someone you don't want to hug, you don't have to hug someone you don't want to hug.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we are kind of done with that thing now where if
Yeah.
the sleazy old boss wants a cuddle, you give them one.
Yeah.
And so actually, so it's part of teaching consent.
Yeah.
We're sort of saying you don't have to hug people you don't want to hug.
Yeah,
There are
yeah,
other
yeah.
ways of like polite contact.
Yes.
And I think the other third one that's great is like newfound understanding and respect of neurodivergent people's boundaries. So I think quite often in professional settings now there'll be like a question like, are you a hugger? If there's going to be a hug. And if not, then you don't say hello with a hug if it's the first time meeting people.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
But I think hugs is all of that allowed for and understood. Hugs are extraordinary and can like change the day.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I know. What's interesting is what do they do? What if you have? I had a hug with somebody recently, and it was we kind of held, or I held, for a little bit longer as a way of telling that person I really enjoyed that or needed that half an hour conversation we had.
Yeah.
And it was it's that sort of feeling when you can almost feel you can feel their heartbeat, and you're glad to feel their heartbeat.
Yeah.
And it's like you say, it's in any way a sexual thing. It's a deeply thankful thing, isn't it? And
It's a human thing.
I'm not a hugger, but I had this conversation with somebody and I was just like, oh man,
Yeah.
I needed that, and this is my body's way of letting you know.
Yeah, I think it releases something chemical, doesn't it?
I think it
The
actually does,
squeeze of
doesn't it?
does.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's so much to it. I think the hug that can release the emotion that's been trapped, that in that way that sometimes it's kindness rather than, more acknowledgement of sadness that can get out whatever the pent up release that you need is. I think there's something about there's a trust thing as well where you can really squeeze someone. I think there's a taking up space thing. I think if you're I remember giving a friend who this is a more negative one, but like I remember there's a friend who I've had for years, but who sometimes makes me feel a bit massive and clumsy, and they're sort of a much smaller, more feminine and delicate person than me. But that was when we were like teens and 20s. And then at a very recent birthday party of mine, I was so happy to see them that I gave them a really big hug, and they were like, oh God, Christ. And I was like, oh God, that's so funny that you're still making me feel a bit extra. And I was like, oh, but it's interesting that is like, they just don't want to be, I don't know, crushed. Here's a more positive one. My mum has been off and on really unwell over the last few years, and actually she's been well for a while, and actually being able to give her a full, proper, I'm not untentative cuddle, you realise what a privilege that is when you're back allowed to do it again.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know. I think again, I've picked something because I think it's more than the sum of its parts. And I think every now and again there's a moment with a stranger where it can just transform your day. I've had 2 hugs with strangers because of the situation they were in that I will remember forever and ever.
Are you able to talk about what led
One
to
of
those
them,
hugs?
I was working in a coffee shop like 20 years ago, and a regular, but who I had never spoken to properly, came in, and he had like a kind of he just had hollowness coming off him, like he wasn't really there. And I said, are you okay? And he said, oh, actually, I've literally just found out my mum has died.
Oh.
And like he looked so broken, and I was like behind a counter, and I don't know why really, but I was just like, would you like a hug? And he went, yeah. And just held each other for ages.
Yeah.
And became friends afterwards.
Oh.
Nothing, just start of what a mad way to start a friendship.
Yeah, but again, like you say, a very human way and a very there's real intuition sometimes, isn't there, where you know somehow, oh, I think that person needs their hand held. There's a really interesting, I think, the Nick Cave book that he's talking about, I think it's got the word chaos in it. I forget the other two words.
Yeah.
But when he lost his son, he went into a vegetarian restaurant that he used to go into, or a takeout place in Brighton, and there was a woman that held his hand for just a little bit longer when he gave the money to pay for the coffee or something. And he just said there was something about that spoke so much more than all the platitudes and the words that people had used for, it's such an interesting thing being having a stranger touch you, or that sort of connection, and unfortunately it's so fucking terrifying that a lot of people wouldn't have done what you did, because you'd go, oh God, like you overthink. I think particularly if you were a guy in that situation.
Yeah, I think I was about to say, I think there's privilege in the sense that he's a bit older and I'm the younger woman, and
but it's
so
fine,
I'm in a position to offer that he probably wouldn't have been if it was the other way around, potentially.
But it is that horrible thing, isn't it, that there is this weird, I don't know, overthinking, particularly if you're a bloke, you go, oh God, fucking hell. If I hug them now, they're going to think I'm a creepy old fucker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I remember there was some girls on a train, and I told this story before with Nina Conti, but they couldn't afford a coffee on the train. And my brain was like,
I want to get them a coffee, yeah.
I've got money to get them a coffee, but I'm 45.
Yeah.
And does it look like I'm saying, I got you a coffee, girls, but you're gonna but
I think you're all right with a coffee.
But the point I'm making, it's this, because of the three things that you've mentioned earlier, there is this, all these awful things that get in the way of kindness.
Yeah.
Because you go, oh God, I'm going to come across as a pervert.
It's where people have ruined it historically, right? But like it was the bottle of tequila rose, you shouldn't have brought them.
But that's exactly. But it's just, it's so, I don't know. But it's such a lovely thing that you've done, and that would have meant the world to him. And it's sad to think that there's lots of other similar things that could have helped him or other people in a similar situation where people have gone, I better not, because
you don't know, everyone's different. Everyone needs a different amount of touch in their life. I'm not someone who, I can get touched out big time, like at home. Like, I don't want to be
I was drinking then.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. But yeah, it's.
I don't want to be like, my partner's a lot more tactile than me, like in day-to-day life. I've got a kid who's pretty handsy. I get probably by generally 10 a.m. I've been patted enough. I've been touched by passerbys enough, and it's a horrible word, but I endure it really well because I think that's things that they need. I think it's different with my kid, to be honest, because I know now I'm in borrowed time. Is that the phrase? Like, where he's about to become a bit more hormonal and probably start being a bit less interested in even hanging around, let alone cuddles and stuff. So I'm just holding on to the last
it's funny. I'm
weeks and months and years, hopefully, of that.
I've just started having them. So I have a 2-year-old. Well, he's just about to become 2. He knows that Daddy's going to work, so he gives me a cuddle. And what's extraordinary about this is that, so the first time it happened, he kind of gave me this cuddle, and he put his head on my shoulder, and I was just going, this is the nicest thing in the world. Yeah. I'm very fortunate in the minute where, so if I've cut myself or I've got a little scab, my son will point to that and go, oh, Daddy, oh, and then rub it. So I'm actually looking forward to whenever I cut my finger or something like that, I'm going, excellent.
Wait to get finally a decent bit of sympathy for that nick.
I'm going to get rubbed. I've got psoriasis on my knee, so I can just...
Get that out for the child.
I do. I just lift it up and go, oh, Daddy, oh. So yeah, every scab has now become a way of getting more love. Wow, I enjoyed that. That was such an interesting chat.
Thanks for having me. What a lovely, positive conversation
Isn't
to
it
get
nice?
to have in the middle of what a bin fire this world is.
Well, exactly. But I feel like for anything who craves negativity, it would be remiss of me not to ask Dan about hugging.
No, you're going to be surprised.
Okay,
'cause,
okay.
There's so many just chemical benefits. So the immediate rush is the endorphins, which is a really good, positive, non-dopamine way of feeling good.
Yeah.
But a hug of more than 20 seconds actually gets to oxytocin release, which is the really good stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
So if an oxytocin,
But the problem is, if you're hugging somebody and you're in 18 seconds and they go to leave and you say, "No, I'm not there yet," again,
That's bad.
it creates.
I was going to ask Jess because hugs.
You're
are
not trying to
good
create a
and-
boner. You're trying to
and
create
this is the problem.
oxytocin.
So you have cuddle apps, you have cuddle clubs, where
Right.
people come together with the specific idea of hugging each other.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
Well, I've never seen that,
Nah,
and
I've got the
therein,
ick. I've got
therein
the
lies
ick.
the problem. Exactly. It's kind of.
It's got to be organic. I don't want to meet up with a load of people that have arranged some. I actually feel
Yeah,
I've
totally.
got an actual physical ick.
Yeah, completely.
You
In-
bunch of loser creeps.
Yeah,
That is
exactly.
rank.
and again, if there's a
Maybe
bloke,
cut
if
that
there's a
out.
bloke there, you're just going, "Oh, what are you
no.
doing here?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
shut up.
Similar
You'd
reason,
be
like-
eyes on the crotch, wouldn't you, in that
Yeah,
situation?
exactly.
I'm not. If that's even a quemmy, I'm not fucking hugging him.
And rightly or wrongly, we all have these thoughts. I've said it to my wife, and I'll say it to you. I'd never have a male dog walker because I'd be worried he's trying to fuck my dog. Because
Really?
yeah, true. Yeah, it's just that it's this innate weird fear that you have.
That people are trying to fuck your dog.
Only men, and if a woman wants to fuck my dog, fine. But I just,
Wow,
but
okay.
it's that strange, irrational kind of.
Yeah.
Blokes are trouble. So if there's a bloke in a cuddle club, avoid him. Is my point.
Yeah.
That's the way we end it. Ladies and gentlemen, the wonderful Jess Fostekew.
Thank you.